I remember the sound first, not the water swallowing me whole, not the sting in my throat. It was the laughter. His voice above the splashes, deep and cruel. "Just a charity case," he told them, while I clawed my way out of the pool like some drowned thing. That was my wedding night, our honeymoon, the moment I stopped being his wife and started being his executioner. We met 2 years earlier. I was waitressing at a gallery opening, serving champagne to people who never looked me in the eye. He was the first to notice me. Handsome, polished, smelling of money. He said I looked like trouble. I thought he meant it as a compliment. He took me to dinners I couldn't afford, whispered about futures I didn't believe in. He wanted me to quit my job, let him take care of me. I thought it was love. It was ownership. And I mistook the cage for safety. The warning signs were there. His impatience when I asked questions. The way he introduced me as my project once, then smirked like it was a joke. I laughed too. I always laughed. Until the night he didn't bother hiding the truth. After the pool incident, I towel-dried in silence while his friends slapped his back. He was drunk, arrogant, careless. But I wasn't humiliated. I was awake. I watched him that evening, how he staggered, how he trusted me to guide him to the room like a nurse with a patient. He collapsed on the bed, still half-dressed, phone glowing in his hand. I sat beside him and smiled. Not at him, at myself. Because right then I knew exactly what I would do. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. That would have given him power. Instead, I played the role of the obedient wife until his breath slowed into a snore. Then I took the phone from his loose grip, the code reflecting back at me in the dark. I'd watched him type it enough times to know. The safe was in the closet, a little black vault he thought was untouchable. Cash, diamonds, the kind of wealth he bragged about to impress men who already had more. I opened it. My hands steady, heart colder than the marble floors beneath me. The bills smelled of greed, the diamonds of betrayal. I packed them neatly into my bag, and then I left him a gift. The wedding ring he slipped on my finger 2 days earlier, dropped into a glass of bourbon on the nightstand. A tiny, perfect gravestone for a marriage already dead. By morning, I was gone. He woke up alone. Empty safe, empty bed. Glass glinting in the light with a gold ring drowned at the bottom. His friends had already left, and with them, his alibi for cruelty. All he had was a story too embarrassing to tell. Because how do you explain your new wife robbing you blind before the honeymoon even ended? I imagined his face when he realized. Not anger first, confusion. Then denial. Then humiliation, sharp and cutting. The same humiliation he had tried to brand into me. I didn't disappear into the night without a plan. Before the trip, I'd made copies of every document I could get my hands on. His accounts, his investments, his offshore secrets he thought were invisible. I'd listened to his late-night calls, pieced together names and numbers. The money I took was only the beginning. What I sent to the authorities later, the tax fraud, the bribes, the shell companies, that was the real blow. While he scrambled to explain missing jewels, investigators knocked at his door. While he cursed me as a thief, the world saw him for what he was, a criminal. I wasn't just his wife. I was his reckoning. I stayed invisible for weeks. New phone, new name, new city. I read the headlines in silence, each article a verse in his downfall. Accounts frozen, partners gone, friends distancing themselves like rats from a sinking ship. I didn't need to see him. The satisfaction wasn't in his face. It was in knowing the cage he built for me had become his own. Do I regret it? No. Love is trust, and trust is currency. He spent mine recklessly, and when the debt came due, I collected with interest. They'll say I was cold, ruthless, Maybe I was. But tell me, what's colder, a woman stealing from her husband, or a man marrying a woman he never respected? I didn't take his fortune, I took my freedom. And the diamonds? They glitter in the dark like tiny stars, reminding me every night I wasn't his charity, I was his undoing. He thought he'd broken me with laughter, but I broke him with silence. And in the end, all he had left was a ring in a glass of bourbon, a toast to everything he lost and everything I gained.